main approaches. One is feedback based flow control, where the receiver will give his willingness so that the sender will continue. The second technique is rate based flow control, where both the parties will come to understanding that so what rate they're supposed to follow. However, this technique is not preferred because so the data rates is fixed. So even though the network is capable of handling the data, sometimes the the data that is sent is at a very fixed rate. So you are going to underutilize the network resources. So rate based flow control, we do not go with that, but feedback based flow control. Okay, so sometimes the receiver is capable of higher data rates, sometimes the receiver may not be capable of receiving higher data rates. Accordingly, the sender has to send. So that is called flow control. So these are the two broad classifications of flow control protocols that we use for flow control. One is for noiseless channel, assuming that the sender and receiver are connected with a noiseless channel. It's a quite ideal case. There are the simplest and stop and wait protocols that addresses the flow control for noiseless channel. And similarly, for noisy channel, we use automatic repeat request, okay, ARQ protocols, under which you have stop and wait ARQ, go back and ARQ, and select to repeat ARQs. So remember ARQ, automatic repeat request, so which are applicable for a noisy channel. So in the reality is the channel is noisy. So even though we take noiseless channels, however, for all practical reasons, we will handle with an IC channel. So automatic repeat request protocols have higher importance. So let us start with one by one. The simplest protocol. So you are at data link layer. The data that you get is from network layer, and you are going to make it into frames, and you are going to deliver your frame to your next bottom layer, which is a physical layer. The physical layer is going to handle all your data. Same way at the receiving end, the data that you get is from the physical layer, and you are going to handle the frames, and the data will be delivered to network layer. Okay, so you are at data link layer. So the data at the sender side, the data that you get is from network layer, and at the receiver side, the data that you get is from physical layer. So here all the data you are going to send as a frames, and the frames will be received at the receiver. So you assume that the all the frames will be delivered successfully because we are handling the noiseless channel. So there is no possibility for loss of frames in the case of noiseless channels. So this is about simplest protocol. So if you look at the code part of it, you can see here. So wait for the event. So event in the sense the frame that you supposed to get. So if event occurs, request to send. So the data that you get is from network layer, which is a packet. So once you get that packet, so here event means the packet that you are going to receive. So once that packet is arrived at the data link layer, so what you do is get data. Okay, so get data. So get data helps you to get the packet, make frames. That packet will be converted into frames, and send frame. So you have to send it. Of course, you are going to give it to physical layer, and it is going to handle it. So these are the three functions that you are going to perform at the sender side. So get the data. So get data is get the packet from the network layer, make frame, you try to convert that packet into frames, and send the frame. Okay, so once you make it into frames, you send, that means you submit to physical layer, and it is going to handle. So the same thing may happen at the receiver, that event occurs. Event means the packet frame arrival, right? So who is going to give? The physical layer is going to give you. Okay, so at the receiver. So once you receive the frame, okay, so once you receive the frame, what will happen? You have to extract the data, right? So receive frame, this function is executed when the physical layer is going to give you the frame and extract the data. So you try to receive the data, extract the data from that frame and deliver the data. So that you have to give it to network layer, which is packet again. Okay, so receive frame. So you receive the frame physical layer, extract data, that the data in the frame you extract it and deliver it to network layer. These are the three corresponding functions at the receiver. So the simplest protocol, it works like this. You can see. So whenever you have a packet to transmit, so try to convert into frames, and DLL is going to send a frame, and it is going to arrive after certain amount of time. So the vertical axis is time axis. So the slant, the frame transmission is showed as a slant line because it takes some amount of time, which is a propagation delay from sender to the receiver. And once the frame is arrived, we are not going to send acknowledgements for this because we are dealing with a noiseless channel, assuming that there won't be any frame losses or damages. So ACK is not going to be sent back from receiver to the sender. So the next one is a stop and wait protocol. Stop and wait. Okay, so you just try to understand the term stop and wait protocol. So here we expect some acknowledgement which gives the willingness of the receiver. So otherwise both are same. You can see here again you are going to get the packet from the network layer. You try to make it into frames and send through physical layer. The data frame is transmitted towards the receiver, and at the receiver you are going to receive the frame and extract the data from the frame and deliver it as a packet to the network layer. That's fine. And apart from that, you are going to send a frame from the receiving end to, so which is acknowledgement frame. Okay, so that indicates the willingness of the receiver. So till you get acknowledgement at the sender, you are not allowed to transmit the next frame. So that makes the difference here. Stop and wait protocol is once you transmit the frame from sender, the receiver, on accepting the frame, it is also going to send ACK. Okay, so once you get ACK at the sender side, then you are allowed to transmit the next frame. Otherwise, you should keep waiting. So look at the code part of it. You can see can send true. Yes. So let us assume the first frame. So by default, it will be true. So wait for event. So what is that event? The sender side. The packet has to be coming from the network layer. That is the event. So once that packet comes, they get the data. So you get that packet from the network layer, make it into frames. Okay, so it's similar to simplest protocol and send frame. These three functions are as same as simplest protocol. However, the last one, can send, is becoming false. Okay, what is this can send? Can send is the next frame that you are going to send. So it is false. That means you are not allowed to transmit the next frame. Okay, it is assigned right now as false. Now wait for event. What is this event? ACK from the receiver. Okay, so once the arrival notification, event arrival notification, that means once you get ACK from the receiver, what you are going to do? Receive frame. So receive frame is acknowledgement frame. You receive it and make can send as true. Okay, so once you make can send as true, then the sender is allowed to transmit the next frame. So if you do not get ACK, then can send is continued as false. So the sender should keep waiting. Okay, so he cannot continue in transmitting next frame. So that is what stop and wait protocol is. So the first part of it, that is get data, make frame, send frame, these three are same as simplest protocol, but we are going to mind about the ACK from the receiver. So once you get the ACK, then you are making a variable can send as true, and the sender is allowed to transmit the next frame. Let us look at the receiver, how it works. So wait event arrival notification, that is the frame that comes from the physical layer, and receive frame, you receive the frame which is coming at the physical layer, extract the data, you try to extract the content and deliver it to network layer. These three again same as simplest protocol. And send frame, this is an extra function where you are going to send the ACK. So this happens when receive the frame properly, okay, and you are willing to receive the further frames. So then only you are going to execute this function. So when you execute send frame function, ACK will be given to the sender. So it works like this. So the sender is going to send a frame, and on arrival of the frame at the receiver is going to send ACK. So how much time the frame it takes? Almost the same time the ACK also takes to travel towards the sender. Propagation time will be same. And once the ACK comes, then the sender is going to transmit the next frame. So here sender is going to send the frames, receiver is going to give the acknowledgements. Based on receiving the acknowledgements, sender is continuing the frame transmissions. So that is about noiseless channels. Okay, so let us come to a noisy channel, which is a reality. So we are going to handle with error detection. Since the channel is noisy, you can expect some frame errors at the receiver, and if there is no frame damaged or errors, then you can play with the positive acknowledgements from the receiver to the sender. So if there is any damage or frame loss, then you can also have negative acknowledgements and ask for retransmissions. Okay, so and the third thing is retransmission after timeout. The sender sends the frame, but the frame is lost. Obviously, receiver cannot give any ACK because while transmitting itself, a frame is lost somewhere in the channel. So how long the sender should wait to get the ACK? So that is also we are going to discuss here. So what we are trying to do is we are trying to deal with a noisy channel, and try to convert into noiseless channel. So it means that in the practical channel there is a frame loss or frame damages. So we are going to resolve them. So we are going to overcome those things. So that is the meaning of automatic repeat request techniques, which helps you to turn the unreliable data link to a reliable one. So let us see stop and wait ARQ and go back in ARQ, select to repeat ARQ. So here I want to enlighten that you students should not confuse the difference between stop and wait protocol and stop and wait ARQ. Okay, so stop and wait protocol is a simple flow control because you are not going to play with errors there. However, stop and wait ARQ gives you it is a part of error control things at frame level. Okay, so it helps you to handle the frame loss and the frames that are received at the receiver with damage. So there is stop and wait protocol. It doesn't talk about the errors, whereas stop and wait ARQ protocol deals with the error control aspects. Let us see the first one, stop and wait ARQ. So it is also called as alternate bit protocol because the frames are numbered with alternate bits 0, 1, 0, 1, 0, 1 like that. So even though you have 100 frames to transmit, the first frame is numbered with 0, second frame is numbered with 1, third frame is numbered with 0, fourth frame is numbered with 1, and so on and so forth. All the frames will be numbered with either 0 or 1. So that is why it's called alternate bit protocol. So let us see, A is the sender and B is the receiver. A is sending a frame 0 and B is going to send the acknowledgement with number 1. So this is very important to understand that ACK 1. So that 1 indicates the frame number which is expected. Okay, so frame 0 is received. However, the ACK is given to that with number 1. So that means ACK 1, it means that frame number 0 is successfully received. So the number of the ACK tells you that till that frame successfully received, and that number of the ACK is the frame number that is expected. Okay, so now ACK1 is received at the sender, and A is going to transmit frame number 1, and B is going to give you ACK0. So, and A is going to send frame 0. So frame 0, the second frame 0 is actually it's a frame number 3. Fine. So, and here you should remember that for every frame transmissions, when the frame is transmitted, there is a timer called retransmission timer which will be activated. So it is going to work for around the, twice the round trip time. Okay, so twice the round trip time. So for every frame transmissions, the retransmission timer will be activated. So the time set for that timer is twice the round trip time. What is that round trip time? RTT, we call it as RTT. So RTT is the time that you take to travel from A to B, the frame travel from A to B, and ACK travel from B to A. So this two-way transmission time is called round trip time. Okay, so frame to arrive from sender to receiver, and ACK for that frame to arrive from receiver to sender. This is called round trip time. Twice the round trip time we are going to wait to get the ACK. So in this scenario, you can see the frame 0 is transmitted and it is lost. So it did not receive at the receiver. So it is lost. So at the sender side, what we are going to do is we are going to wait for twice the RTT. So since the frame itself is lost, ACK obviously will not come. So automatically what we'll do is we'll repeat the same frame transmission because we did not get ACK within twice the RTT. So that is how we are going to handle the last two frames. Okay, so you can see here the frame 0 is successfully received, the second attempt. Okay, at B, and B is also sent ACK1. Unfortunately, ACK is lost in the channel. In that case also, we are going to retransmit the same frame again because we did not get ACK at the sender side. So that is the reason why we are going to receive the, transmit the same frame. So now what will happen when I transmit the same frame? What B is going to do? Can someone answer this? So B is going to discard the frame because it's a duplicate. So frame 0 is already arrived and B has sent ACK1. What is ACK1? B is expecting frame number 1. But what you are giving frame 0. So B is going to discard your frame since it is a duplicate. So in this example, we have seen how to address the frame loss. Okay, so when there is a frame loss in the medium, how you are going to handle it? So we are going to handle it by retransmitting the same frame after waiting twice the round trip time. And the same thing may happen even when the ACK is lost. So frame loss may happen, ACK loss may happen, and the other one is what? Frame may be received but with errors. Okay, so that scenario we are going to address little later. So this is about stop and wait ARQ. So here the advantage is simplicity. In what sense it is simple? So we are going to play with only 2 frames at a time, no matter how many frames you want to transmit. But since I have numbered with 0 1 0 1 and so on, only 2 frames at a time I am going to play with. So frame 0 and frame 1. So when I send frame 0, I expect ACK1. When I send frame 1, I expect ACK0. As simple as that. So the same 4 steps is continued throughout all my frame transmissions. In that way, it's simple. What is the disadvantage of it? It leads to poor link utilization. It's very, very important to understand what is link utilization. See here, there is a link, the communication link between A and B. So the utilization of that link is very, very higher when you are continuously transmitting the frames. Okay, so when you are continuously transmitting the frame, then the link is said to be highly utilized. So here, once you are transmitting the frame, for example, the communication link can handle, let's say, 1000 bits, for instance, but your frame is of 10 bits, then your utilization is very poor. So what you are going to do, the 10 bits as a frame, you are transmitting all the way, and you are waiting for ACK. So till you receive ACK, you are not going to send any frame. Okay, so that means you are not utilizing the link effectively. So you are losing your time in waiting for ACKs. So that's why it is poor link utilization. Yeah, so this is an example to understand what exactly contributes to link utilization. The sender is sending a data frame, so that yellow colored part, so that is the time. X-axis is time axis here. That yellow colored portion, you are utilizing the link to transmit your data. And so once you keep your data on the link, that is frame transmission time, we call it as frame transmission time. So the time which takes to keep the data frame on the link, that is called frame transmission time. So for example, your data frame is 1000 bits, then how much time you take to keep all these 1000 bits on the link, that is frame transmission time. So once you keep this frame bits, it takes some time to reach the receiver. So that is a propagation time. Once the frame is received at the receiver is going to send the ACK, right? So the sending ACK, it doesn't contribute to link utilizations. So only data transmissions are going to contribute to link utilization. So ACK is it takes time to travel all the way from receiver to sender. So this is the time that you are going to spend, without utilizing the link. So on the bottom line, you can see the link utilization is only the yellow colored portions of time. The rest of the time, the link is free. So this, tells you that stop and wait ARQ is, having very poor link utilizations. Why? Because we are expecting ACKs here for more reliability. Yes. So try to quantify this link utilization. How we can, calculate this. So let us assume the sender is sending a frame. So sending a frame means all the frame bits he has to keep on the channel, right? So that takes T data. So T data is the time that the sender takes to keep all the frame bits on the link. So this is also called transmission time, frame transmission time. So T data is frame transmission time. So once you keep all frame bits, what will happen? That frame bits take some time to travel from sender to receiver. So that is called propagation time. Okay, so the time that the signal takes to propagate from sender to receiver. Then once the frame is received at the receiver, ACK is going to be sent by the receiver. So ACK is a very small group of bits compared to data frame bits. ACK bits are very, very less. However, strictly if you want to calculate the link utilization, you should also consider the time that you take to keep all ACK bits on the link from the receiver side. So that is TACK. and TACK also takes time, T-prop time, because this is a other way round. So T-prop time to reach the sender. So 2 T-prop, you are going to spend 2 T-prop and 1 frame transmission time, that is T data, and 1 TACK. So this much amount of time you are spending to transmit 1 data frame. Okay, and the same thing will be repeated for the next frames also. Any doubt here? Please let me know. It's very important. I'm going to quantify the link utilization for stop and wait ARQ. So here you should understand what is T data. So T data is also called frame transmission time, that the time it takes to keep all the frame bits on the medium, that is frame transmission time. And propagation time is the time that it takes for a frame to travel from sender to receiver, and that is equal to the ACK that it travels from receiver to sender. So at this point of time, if you have any doubts, please let me know. If not, I'll continue to quantify it. So now let me go little deeper about this. Okay, yeah. So transmission time or transmission delay. So this is same as frame transmission time. I told you frame transmission time is the time the sender takes to keep all frame bits on the medium. Propagation time, it takes to travel from sender to receiver, and the ACK that the time it takes to travel from receiver to sender, that is a propagation delay. And processing time, see, processing time is at the receiver, right? So once I receive the frame, until unless I process it, I cannot understand that it is meant for me. So I should spend some time to process the received frame. So that is called T process. You can see in the figure. Okay, and the queuing time. So the time it takes, before it gets processed. Okay, so the time it waits in the queue to before it gets processed, because the I get as a receiver, I get frames from different nodes. Okay, so for instance, in my laptop, I am sorry, I'm playing with 4 applications, YouTube and manipal.edu and so on and so forth. So from every the other side of the application, they send the data. So all the data I'm going to keep in a queue here. So and one by one I am going to process it. So each frame is going to wait in a queue before it gets processed. So that time also you are going to consider, strictly speaking. So what is the total time now to transmit one complete frame? So this is the time. So the total time, the first term is T frame, which is the frame transmission time, that you take some time to keep all your frame bits on the link. The second one, once you keep all frame bits, so that frame takes some time to reach the receiver. So because it has to travel all the way from sender to receiver. So that is T-prop. So then once this frame is received at the receiver, it takes some amount of time to process it. That is third term. So once the frame is processed, the receiver is going to send acknowledgement to the sender. So to keep ACK bits on the link, it takes some amount of time, which is TACK. Then the fifth term is T-prop. So that ACK frame takes T-prop time, that is a propagation time, that is a reverse path. Okay, so from receiver to sender. Then at the sender, again this ACK frame is processed, right? So that is again T processed at the sender. So these are the actual things that you need to consider when you want to accurately quantify the link utilization. Most of the time we ignore the terms T process and TACK, because those are very smaller time values compared to T frame and T prop. So most of the time we ignore that. So if the numerical gives those values also, then you should consider, otherwise you can ignore them. However, T frame and T prop cannot be ignored. So now coming to the link utilization. So we know that the frame transmission time, T frame, the amount of time that you take to keep all your frame bits on the link. Propagation time, the amount of time that frame takes to travel from sender to receiver, and this time is equal to the time that ACK frame takes to travel from receiver to sender. Now let me define a variable. Okay, so the parameter A. So A I am going to define as the ratio of T prop to T frame. Okay, so propagation, it is the ratio of propagation time to frame transmission time. Now let us see the two extreme cases. What happens when A is much less than 1? So what do you mean by A is much less than 1? So that means the numerator is much less than denominator, right? So A is much less than 1 is same as T prop is much less than T frame, right? So what do you mean by that? So T prop is much less value compared to T frame. So in the sense, you are going to take more time to keep all your frame bits on the link. However, once you keep the bit on the link, it takes very less time to travel towards the receiver. So you, since T frame is higher, so the time that you take to keep the first bit, okay, once you keep the first bit, immediately it is going to deliver at the receiver, but still you are yet to complete all the frame bits. Okay, so I'll summarize in the other way, that you are going to take more time to keep all your frame bits on the link. So the first bit of the frame is going to be arrived, okay, so before, but still you are yet to complete the last bit on the link. Okay, so you are yet to keep your last bit of the frame on the link. By the time the first bit is already arrived at the receiver. So this is the scenario when T frame is much higher than T prop. The second case is A is much greater than 1, in the sense the numerator, that is T prop, is much higher than T frame. So T frame takes less time, that you are going to take a minimum time to keep all your frame bits, but once you keep your frame bits, it takes quite longer time to travel from sender to receiver. So that are the two extreme cases. Yeah, so let you answer in which case you can achieve higher link utilization. Can someone answer? In which case I can achieve much higher link utilizations. So whether it should be, yes, exactly. So A is much less than 1. That means frame transmission time should be much higher than propagation time. So when you take more time, that means most of the time you are utilizing the link, right? Yes. So now link utilization can be summarized as T frame over T frame plus twice the T prop. So why twice the T prop here? Because one T prop is to, the time that a frame takes from sender to receiver, and another T prop is the ACK that it takes to receive from, to travel from receiver to sender. So that's why it is twice the T prop in the denominator. So let T frame, you can take it as common. So then you will get T frame gets cancelled, 1 by 1 plus 2 into T prop to T frame, which is equal to A. So the link utilization of the stop and wait ARQ is 1 by 1 plus 2a. So these are the two extreme cases that we have discussed. One is a is much greater than 1. So a is much greater than 1 means the numerator is much greater than 1. That is t prop is much greater. So here you can see in the case of t prop is higher, then once you complete the frame bits on the link, it takes quite longer time to arrive at the receiver. Okay. So the second case is that a is much less than 1, in the sense t prop is much less than t frame. So you can see here the first bit I am going to keep at time instant t naught, and I am yet to complete the frame bits. Okay, you can see t naught plus a. I am yet to complete the frame transmission, but the first bit which I kept is already arriving at the receiver. Okay, so the t naught plus 1 still that is the instant of time where I have completed the frame transmission, but you can see the link is completely occupied with frame bits. I'm talking about second case where a is much less than 1. So you can see in the case of a is much less than 1, most of the time the link is carrying the frame bits. So it indicates that the link is utilized to the maximum extent. Whereas in the first case where a is greater than b, the link is not utilized to the maximum extent. You can see most of the time the link is idle. So this is the conclusion of our discussion, that when a is much less than 1, so t frame is much higher than t prop, right? So the link utilization is close to 100%. The other side, when a is much greater than 1, that means the t frame is much less than t prop, the link is utilized in a poor manner. So this is how it works. You can see the yellow colored at the sender side is a T frame, and the time that you take to keep all your frame bits, and once you keep on the link all the frame bits, then it takes T prop to reach the receiver. Once the frame is received, the receiver is going to keep the ACK frame on the link. So TACK is taken, and ACK frame is also going to take T prop to arrive at the sender. So T data, which is frame transmission time, and one propagation time, then TACK, then another propagation time. So this is the time that you are going to spend for one frame transmission. Of course, here T process and all those two waiting time in the queues are ignored, and the same thing will be repeated. So only that yellow portions are the time durations where the link is utilized, and all that red line portions, the link is said to be idle, even though they are carrying the link is carrying frame and ACKs, but it doesn't contribute to link utilization. So now, while calculating the link utilization, remember that the link, okay, so the link speed. So if it is a wireless channel, then the signal speed is considered as 3 into 10 power 8 meters per second, which is the speed of the light. If the signal is traveling in a medium like copper wire, then it is 2/3 of velocity of light, so which is 2 into 10 power 8 meters per second. So this is very important to remember, because in the numerical, when we say that the sender and receiver are connected using a copper cable, then it is implied that the speed of the signal is 2/3 of velocity of light. Yes, yeah. Throughput is the number of successful deliveries, so which can be calculated as R into link utilization. Okay, so the R into link utilization. So what is the R? R is the link capacity. Okay, so what is the link capacity, and to what extent you are utilizing it? That gives your throughput. So these things are already covered. So the link utilization is 1 by 1 plus 2a, where a refers to t ratio of t prop to t frame. Now let us this is till this point we have not considered any errors here in the frames, right? So it is a simple stop and wait protocol. Okay, so ARQ is not present here. So the link utilization of a stop and wait protocol, which is 1 by 1 plus 2a, is just addresses the flow control, in fact. So now what happens if the frames that you receive is damaged, or what happens when the frames are lost. So in that case, we have to discuss about stop and wait ARQ, automatic repeat request protocol. So now the probability, the error probability comes into picture, and we do not know one particular frame when it is going to get success, right? So that's why we have to see the average utilization. Okay, the first frame may be success in the first attempt. So the second frame may be when you transmit the second frame, the frame may be lost. So after waiting for twice the RTT, you are going to retransmit the same frame. So again there may be a loss. Again you are going to transmit after twice the retransmission time. So like that, you do not know when exactly you are going to get success, right? So by keeping all that in mind, now what we have to do is we have to consider the average number of transmissions of a particular frame. So we are not sure that a particular frame when it is going to be successfully received at the receiver side. So you can take from I is equal to 1 to infinity. So we do not know when it is going to be get success. So in order to calculate all that average number of transmissions, so you should consider that average number of transmissions is equal to summation of I into probability of I transmissions, not I minus 1 transmissions. Okay, so that means you are going to success in the first in a particular attempt. It means that I minus 1 attempts you got failure, right? So ith attempt you are going to get success. So if you expand this and this series, then you will arrive at 1 by 1 minus p. So now this you have to substitute here. That is link utilization is t frame over NR, that is average number of transmissions for a frame into T total. So NR is 1 by 1 minus P. So by substituting that, you will arrive at the link utilization for stop and wait ARQ is 1 minus P over 1 plus 2A, where P is the error probability. So let us assume probability, error probability is 0. So what it means, the link is perfect. So what is the link utilization? U is 1 by 1 plus 2A. Again, you will come back to simple stop and wait protocol. So for a stop and wait ARQ, so where you are going to handle the frame losses and frame damages, and you expect retransmissions, in that case, the link utilization becomes 1 minus P over 1 plus 2A. Yes, quickly answer this question. The question asked is, consider the use of 10K bit size frames. So here the frame size is 10K bits. So 10 kilobits. So assume that K refers to 1000 instead of 1024. Okay. So the actual K value kilo in binary is 1024. However, you can approximate it to 1000. on a 10 Mbps satellite channel with 270 milliseconds delay. So here T prop is propagation delay is 270 milliseconds. What is the link utilization for a stop and wait ARQ? Assume that P error probability is 10 power minus 3. So now you know that the link utilization for stop and wait ARQ is 1 minus P over 1 plus 2A. So what is A? A is T prop over T frame. So T prop is a part of the data which is 270 milliseconds. So now your job is to calculate T frame. What is T frame? How to get this value? So simple understanding is you look at the channel rate. What is the channel capacity? That 10 megabits per second. So M is again I am taking 10 power 6. So 10 megabits per second. So if you understand this value, what it means, the satellite link is can carry maximum of 10 megabits per second. 10 megabits per second. Now, what is the duration? What is the amount of time that the link takes to carry 1 bit? Can someone answer this? So the link is capable of handling 10 megabits in a second. So my question is, how much time the link takes to carry 1 bit? Can someone answer this? So in the yes, exactly, Yuvraj. So it takes not 1 microsecond, it is 0.1 microsecond in fact. So because 1 by 10 MB, I mean 1 by 10 mega, right? So 1 by 10 mega is 0.1 microsecond. Fine, 0.1 microsecond. Now I'll ask one more question that, so when the link is taking 0.1 microsecond to handle 1 bit, how much time it takes to carry 10k bits? How much time it takes to carry 10k bits? Exactly, Abir. It's a 1 millisecond. Okay. So T frame is the amount of time that you take to keep 10k bits on the medium. That's the meaning of T frame. So T frame is the frame transmission time. So that is the amount of time that you take to keep all your frame bits, which is 10k bits in this example. How much time you are going to take to keep all these 10k bits on the link? So we have defined that as 1 millisecond. So now you substitute. A is 270 milliseconds, which is T prop over T frame, which is 1 millisecond. So the value of A is 270 now. So substitute in the formula that 1 minus P is 10 power minus 3, the error probability, frame error probability, over 1 by 1 minus 10 power minus 3 over 1 plus 2 into 270. Can someone answer this? So link utilization is 0.999 over 1 plus 270 into 540. So 0.999 over 541. What's the value? Point 999 over 541. Can answer someone? I am getting as 1.84. Yes. 8466 into 10 power minus 3. Okay, that's fine. Exactly. So in terms of percentage, it is 0.18466. Right? Yes, 6%. T prop is 270 milliseconds. It's already given in the numerical. So link utilization is 1 minus P over 1 plus 2A, where A is T prop to T frame. T prop is 270 milliseconds, which is a part of the numerical, and T frame is the time that you take to keep your frame bits, which is 10K bits on the channel. So which is 1 millisecond, and A is 270. Link utilization is 0.18%. You can see here. So 0.18% only you are going to utilize it. The rest, what is that rest? 99.82% is you are not utilizing it. Very poor link utilization. So that is the conclusion of stop and wait ARQ. Okay. Yes. Can you answer this quickly? So each frame from the sender to receiver is of 1K byte message. So 1K byte is 8-bit. And the link is capable of handling 50 kbps. So the link between sender and receiver is given as 50 kbps, and it is connected. It's a wide link, so maybe copper cable. So the link. So in fact, I need not to give this. When I say that it is a wide connection, then it is implied. So this is the numerical. So what you do here is, first you calculate T frame. So what is T frame now? T frame is your frame size. What is frame size? 1K bits, 1K bits. Okay, so 1K byte, right? So 10 power 3 into 8. And the link rate, the link rate, the link capacity is 50 kbps. 50 kbps. Okay. Kbps. So 8 or 50. Can someone answer what is T frame? So 8 or 50. I'm getting as 0.16 seconds. Oh, nice. So Yuvraj is telling utilization is 99.937. So let us check that. So first let me know what is T frame. Okay, so what is T frame? Can someone answer? So I am getting it as 0.16 seconds. Yes, exactly. So now the second thing is that you need to calculate T prop here. It is not given straight away. So you have to calculate T prop. So how to calculate that? How to calculate that? So the signal speed or signal velocity. Velocity is, what is velocity? Distance over time can I take it? So in that case, V is d by t, where t is d by v. So time is distance over speed. Time is distance over speed. Yes, distance is 10 kilometers, 10 into 10 power 3 meters over speed is 2 into 10 power 8 meters per second. So what you'll get here is 0.5 into 10 power minus 4, so 0.05 milliseconds. So if I'm not wrong, T prop, which I'm getting as 0.05 milliseconds. Is it true? So now T prop and T frame we got. So now let us substitute in the link utilization, which is 1 by 1 plus 2a. So a is, what is a value? A is 0.05 millisecond over 0.16 seconds. So now you can see here, this itself indicates the answer, so the expected answer. So what is T prop? T prop is 0.05 milliseconds. What is T frame? T frame is, if I represent in milliseconds, it becomes 160 milliseconds. So what's the relation here? T frame is much greater than T prop. Can you see this? So T frame you got as 160 milliseconds and the T prop is 0.05 milliseconds. So T frame is much greater than T prop. So this is as same as A is much less than 1. So we have discussed that when the case A is much less than 1, the link utilization, most of the time the link is carrying the frame bits. So the link utilization is expected to be very high. It's close to 100%. That is what we have discussed. So this numerical is proving that. So let us now substitute these values. So what is 160, which is 3.125 into 10 power minus 4. So 1 by 1 plus 6.25 into 10 power minus 4 plus 1 inverse. So 99.93. Yes, I'm also getting same value, that is 99.937%. Yes. So I hope you understand it, the link utilizations and how to calculate T frame and T prop, and the expected answer. The answer also you can expect because you know the value of T frame and T prop, and when you compare it, so which is higher, accordingly you can expect the channel utilization, whether it will be close to 100% or whether it is very poor. So we have seen the two extremes, right? So we have seen the first numerical, that is this numerical, that you know, T prop, right? T prop is much greater than T frame. So T prop is 270 milliseconds and T frame is 1 millisecond. So T prop is much greater than that. So in that case, we have seen that the link utilization is very poor. And on the other hand, when T prop is much less than T frame, right? Yes. T prop is much less than T frame. So the link utilization is close to 100%. That is what we have discussed. Okay, that is about stop and wait ARQ. And quickly, can you answer this? So here, the same frame size 1K byte, and the distance between sender and receiver is also same. So only thing is that the link rate is changed from 50 kbps to 300 mbps. So now, is there any change in the T-prop? So T-prop you are going to calculate as distance over speed of the signal. So distance doesn't change, right? So with respect to previous numerical, the distance is same here and the speed of the signal is also same. So T-prop will be retained. So what is the T-prop value? It is 0.05 milliseconds. So T frame is going to be changed because it is the link rate is changed. So one, yes, Yuvraj 21, close to 21%. Let us see that. So 1K frame bits over, sorry, 1K bytes, right? So into 8 over 300 into 6, 10 power 6. So this is 8.8 over 3. So 0.8 over 3, which is 0.2667 T frame. Yes. So I'm getting a T prop is 0.05 milliseconds and T frame is 266.667 milliseconds. So here also, what is T frame? Can someone answer? What is T frame? So 8 by 3. Oh yeah, I went wrong. So 3, 3. So 8 by 3 into 10 power minus 5. So 8 over 3. 26.6667 microseconds. Yes. Yes, yes, correct, correct. So so T frame 26.667 microseconds and T prop is, if you convert into microseconds, it becomes 50 microseconds. Okay, so in this case, T prop is roughly double that of T frame, right? So T frame. So T prop is higher. So when T prop is higher, the link utilization is expected to be lower. So now let us look at the value. Yes, 21.07 is the link utilization. So that's the conclusion of today's discussion that about link utilization in stop and wait ARQ. Fine. So quickly, can you answer this? A channel has a data rate of 4 kbps and a propagation delay of 20 milliseconds. What is the minimum frame size to achieve 50% link utilization using stop and wait protocol? So link utilization is given. U is given. So U is given. Your job is to find the minimum frame size. So 50% means 0.5 is equal to 1 by or T frame over T frame plus 2 T prop. T prop is 20 milliseconds. 20 milliseconds. So 0.5 T frame plus 20 milliseconds is equal to T frame. So this is 20 milliseconds is equal to 0.5 T frame. So this is 40 milliseconds. So I am getting T frame as 40 milliseconds. So T frame is equal to 40 milliseconds. Yes. So in 40 milliseconds, how many bits we can transmit? So the link is link data rate is 4 kbps. Okay. So per second, it means that in 1 second it can carry 4 kilobits. In 40 milliseconds, how many bits? 4k into 40 milli. So which is 160 bits. So that is your, yes, exactly. So yes, 160 bits should be the minimum frame size. Okay. Yes. In a stop and wait ARQ, the bandwidth of a line is 1 Mbps and 1 bit takes 20 milliseconds to make a round trip. Okay. So to make a round trip, it is not one way, it is a round trip time is 20 milliseconds. What is the bandwidth delay product? If the system data frames are 1000 bits in length, what is the utilization of the link? So here bandwidth delay product plays a role in defining the maximum bits that the link can handle. So bandwidth is given as 1 Mbps and round trip time is given as 20 milliseconds. So it means that the bandwidth delay product is 20,000 bits. So it means it can handle at most 20,000 bits. The link can handle at most 20,000 bits. But what is your frame? You are keeping 1000 bits at a time because you are going to send one frame at a time, right? So you are going to keep 1000 bits. But what is the link that it can handle is 20,000 bits. So what is the utilization? It's 5%. So in this way also you can define the link utilization for stop and wait ARQs. So based on bandwidth delay product. So here when you are considering the delay, it is a round trip delay that you need to consider. Next, these two you can take it as homework. It's the same as the numericals that we have solved. Even this one, you can do that. And yeah, so let's quickly run through this sliding window protocols. So sliding window is, so far what we have handled is, we played with one frame at a time. You are sending a one frame and waiting for ACK. Once you get ACK, then you are going to send another frame. So here we have realized that the link utilization is very poor because most of the time the link doesn't carry any frame bits, right? So we have seen the yellow portions of the timeline of the link. So what we are trying to do is we are trying to boost up the link utilization. ACK for each frame, you try to send a couple of frames, and for all the frames, you expect one ACK. That's enough. Okay. So that is what the sliding window concept is. So sliding window is the number of the frames which will be kept in a window and those many frames you can transmit at a stretch without expecting ACK, and probably you can expect ACK for all of them or at least few of them. So let us see this. So I am the sender. So my frame numbers, my frames are numbered from 0 to 7. Okay. So 0 to 7. After that, the 9th frame is again numbered with 0. So it goes like that. So even though if I have 1000 frames to transmit, but all the frames will be numbered from 0 to 7, again 0 to 7, and so on and so forth. Effectively, I am utilizing 3 bits to represent my frame number. Okay, so 3 bits is used to represent the frame number. 000 refers to frame 0, 001 refers to frame 1, and so on and so forth. 111 refers to 7. Fine. So now what I did here is 0 to 6 frame numbers, 0 to 6 I have kept inside my window. So it indicates that all these 7 frames numbered from 0 to 6 can be transmitted without expecting ACK. Okay. So because if you expect ACK for each frame, it takes quite a longer time. So what I do is I'll go on transmitting my frames, and by the time I can get ACK for few of the frames. So that is the idea. So now how it works at the sender side. I am at the sender side. So as and when I transmit my frame, so let's say frame 0 is transmitted, then the left edge, right? So the left edge will be moved towards right. So that you should be very careful in understanding this. So as and when I transmit my frames, okay, so the left edge is going to be moved towards right. And when I transmit my frames, I expect ACKs, right? So once I get ACKs, the right edge of the window is going to move towards right. See, for example, when I transmit 4 frames, then 0, 1, 2, 3, these will be omitted from the window. Okay. So, and window contains only 4, 5, 6. When I get ACK for, let's say, 2 frames, 0 and 1, then the right edge will be moved by that many positions. So frame number 7 and 0 will be included in the window. So the left edge of the window will be moved towards right as and when the frames are transmitted, whereas the right edge of the window is moved towards right when you get the ACKs. For how many ACKs you will, how many frames you get ACK, that many frames will be included in the window. So now let us come to the receiving side. So the receiver end, so 0 to 6 are there in the window. So now as and when I receive the frame, the left edge of the window will be moved. So at the receiver, what is the job of the receiver? It has to receive the frame and it has to send ACKs. So as and when I receive the frames, the left edge of the window is moved towards right. And for the received frames, when I send ACK, the right edge of the window is also moved towards right. So the left edge will be moved towards right when I receive the frames. The right edge of the window is moved towards right when I send ACKs for the received frames. Yes, look at this example. So initially, both the windows at the sender and the receiver are included with 0 to 6. That means the window size is 7. When I transmit a first frame data 0, you can see at the sender side, the window is moved towards right. So that frame 0 is omitted. But right edge is still same because right edge will move only when I get ACKs. Okay, I did not get ACK at this point of time. Now data 1, that is a frame 1 is also transmitted. So that is also omitted from the window. So the left edge of the sender's window is moved towards right by 2 positions. And now ACK is received. for ACK2, what it means? Till 2, that is 0 and 1 is successfully received, and the frame number 2 is expected. ACK2, that 2 indicates that frame number that is expected at the receiver. So now since I got ACK for 2 frames, so at the sender's window, the right edge is moved by 2 positions. So frame number 7 and 0 is included. Now data 2, that is frame 3 is transmitted. So, 2 is omitted. The left edge of the sender's window is moved by 1 position. And ACK I have received for that frame. So right edge will be moved by 1 position. So now 3 frames, data 3, data 4, data 5 is transmitted. So you can move the left window, the left edge of the sender's window by those many positions. So 3 are done. Then once you get ACK for 6, that means 3 positions. The right edge is moved by 3 positions. 2, 3, 4 frame numbers are included. So the summary at the sender side is, as and when you transmit the data frames at the sender, the left edge is going to be moved towards right. As and when you get ACK, your right edge of the window will be moved by that many positions. Now coming to receiver's window. So receiver, it is going to receive the frames and it is going to send the ACKs. As and when it receives the frames, the left edge of the window is going to be moved towards right. You can see data 0, data 1, that first 2 frames. So first the left side, frame 0 is omitted, then frame 1 is omitted. But right edge is still the same because ACK is yet to send. Then ACK2 is sent. So that means ACK for 2 frames is sent. So 2 positions will be included. The right side you can see, right side, edge, right edge of this receiver's window is included by 2 frame positions. So like that, the left edge will be moved towards right when you receive the frames, and the right edge of the receiver's window will be moved as and when you send ACKs. Yes. So now we'll introduce the full duplex communication. So far we have assumed that the sender, one party is going to send the frames and another party is going to give ACKs. So in the case of full duplex communication, both the parties will have data to transmit. Okay. So A has data to transmit to B. At the same time, B is also having data to transmit to A. So in that case, what we do is we follow the mechanism called piggybacking. So what do you mean by that? So when you are sending a frames, right, since we are playing with full duplex communication, so whenever one party is having data to transmit, along with the data, you also append ACK for the received data. Okay. So you have data to transmit to other side. So you are transmitting the frames, data frames. So along with the data frames, since it is a full duplex communication, you are also receiving the data from other end. So obviously you should acknowledge that received data. So when you are transmitting your data, you try to keep ACKs for the received data. So that is called piggybacking. So each frame contains data field as well as ACK field. Yes, this we have discussed. Yes, receiver's window size. So this is a go back N ARQs. So we'll discuss one by one. So in the go back N ARQs, so the sender's window size, it contains a multiple frames. Okay, it contains multiple frames, whereas receiver's window size is only 1. Okay, so receiver's window size is only 1. It means that, so in the window only 1 frame will be there at a time. So that is how go back N ARQ is. Okay. So now let us see, understand this. So at the sender side, 0, 1, 2. Sorry. So 3 frames can be transmitted without expecting ACK. That is what sliding window protocol says. So you can transmit at most 3 frames, without expecting ACK. So frame 0 is transmitted. So here that window is not moved, but however it will move. Okay, so you understand that. So window has to be moved, which is not shown in this example. Okay, so frame 0 is transmitted. So at the receiver, frame 0 is expected. You can see R is marked at frame 0. So once the frame 0 is received, then the window will be moved to frame 1 at the receiver. So frame 1 is received, and it will send it is sending ACK2. So when ACK2 means frame 2 is expected, so it is implied that frame 0 and 1 is successfully received. So now the window is moved towards right. The right edge of the sender's window is moved by 2 positions. So frame 3 and 0 is included. So now at the receiver, frame 2 is expected. So frame 2 will be transmitted, and ACK3. So that means for 1 frame the ACK is sent. So on the sender side, one more frame is included in the window. So effectively at the sender side, frames 3, 0, 1 are present. So frame 3 is transmitted, and which is expected at the receiver. So here things go smoothly. Okay, so there is no issues. So now let us look at this aspect. Okay.
Excuse me, sir.
So where you have sent a particular frame, let's say frame 2, which is lost. So frame 2 is expected at the receiver. You can see the receiver window is 2, and sender is also sent a frame 2, but unfortunately it was lost. However, he can send a frame 3 and 0 as well, because they are included in the sender's window. So that's why even though
Excuse me, sir.
frame 2 is lost, but still sender can transmit frame 3. But what's happening at the receiver is frame 3 is discarded. Even though it is successfully received, it is going to be discarded because the receiver is expecting frame 2 only. So no matter the consecutive frames that you receive successfully, but it will be ignored. So that is the meaning of go back n ARQ. Go back n. Go back to n. That capital N is the frame that is expected. Okay, so in this case that is 2. So receiver is expecting frame number 2, but you are sending the other frames, frame number 3, which is the successive frame, but still it is ignored. Even though it is successfully received, but still it is ignored, and it is asking to go back to frame number 2 itself. So in summary, what I am trying to say is, in a go back n ARQ, even though the n is the frame number that is expected, so even though the successive frames after the nth frame, even though they are received successfully at the receiver, but still the receiver is going to ignore them and ask the sender to retransmit the same frame, which is the nth frame. Okay, yes, I am winding up here. Okay, since we have class, we'll continue in the next class. Okay.